Was ist los, everyone, and welcome back to my Flughafen Frankfurt Model Airport series. Today, we'll be going over Update 8. It has been a while since the last update, and I think it's time for a change. For the past two videos in this series, I focused on Terminal 1, specifically the A and Z gates. But what makes this video different is the fact that we'll be focusing only on Terminal 2 today, which is FRA's International Terminal. FRA gets a lot of different carriers when it comes to wide bodies, most from Asia or the Middle East, with some variations in between, generally speaking. With that, we've got a few new models in this video that I picked up from the airplane shop in Vegas that I'm really excited to show for the first time on the channel, as well as a few ones that I haven't formally introduced yet. Anyways, let's get into it. Taking the starting spotlight for today's update is this brand new Air France regional Embraer E190-100. This aircraft, just as every other E-Jet in the Air France regional fleet, is being operated by HOP, a subsidiary of Air France. I have the HOP Air France regional E170 in the HOP livery, which I believe was showcased in the last update. However, it's becoming more and more common to see the E190 and the new livery, as Air France is aiming to paint all HOP aircraft into their normal paint scheme as they would any of their mainline planes. Which in my case is good, as now I can provide sufficient variation when it comes to my Air France European short-haul operations. Anyways, this Air France regional Embraer E190 is currently loading baggage and loading fuel as it prepares to head out to Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport. This next aircraft is also being showcased for the first time in this series, the British Airways mainline A321neo. BA sends just about every narrow-body in their fleet to FRA during different seasons. During winter, I believe they send the E190s from Gatwick, Heathrow, and London City. However, during the summer, they might send the A320 or the A321neo from said airports. I picked up this model a while back when I visited the airplane shop in Miami, and I think it was a great decision since it could be showcased in the Flughafen Frankfurt series as well as my brand new Zagreb Franjo Tuđman Airport series. Anyhow, this British Airways A321neo is currently being attached to its designated jet bridge as it just pulled into the ramp from London Heathrow. Following that, this American Airlines Boeing 777-200LR is presently being pushed back for its service to Dallas-Fort Worth Airport in Texas. American used to send the 787-8 or 9 variants on this route and then send the 777s to and from Charlotte, North Carolina. However, at the time of recording, they now enlisted the 777-200 to operate both flights out of Frankfurt. As the next aircraft in line here, we have the Lufthansa Airbus A340-300 in the new livery. This aircraft is currently unloading its cargo and baggage as it just completed its roughly 11-hour flight from San Jose Juan Santa Maria International Airport in Costa Rica. Next up is one of the two Middle Eastern carriers being showcased in today's update. This first one being the Emirates Boeing 777-300ER in what I guess is now considered their older livery. Currently, this 777 is experiencing a major delay as its crew rushes to retract the jet bridge and attach the pushback tug for its flight to Dubai. The delay was caused by a connection to another delay, which was connected to another delay, all creating a sort of domino effect on the aircraft after it was first delayed in London due to high levels of ground traffic. Moving on, we have the next Middle Eastern carrier for today's video, which happens to be another Emirates aircraft, specifically their massive A380-800 in their new and improved livery. Unlike the previous 777, this A380 just arrived here in Frankfurt from Dubai, and its ground crew is working to unload its sizable amounts of bulk cargo and baggage as well as deplane the hundreds of passengers on board. Emirates sends numerous aircraft to Frankfurt's main Flughafen every day. 1 or 2 777 freighters, 1 777-300ER in the morning, 1 Airbus A380 in the afternoon, and another 777-300ER in the late evening. The delayed 777-300 we talked about before was the morning arrival, which is usually scheduled at around 9 a.m. This A380 flight, the one we are presently talking about, is scheduled to arrive every day at around 1 in the afternoon. As I said though, this massive aircraft just arrived from Dubai. As the last aircraft here at my makeshift Terminal 2 diorama, we have this Discover Airlines Airbus A330-300 in the Eurowings livery. This butter machine has just arrived from Calgary's YYC Airport in Canada, as it is currently unloading some cargo and preparing for its next flight to Orlando. I think I mentioned this in my last RSW update, but I think it would be ideal sooner or later if we got a Discover Airlines A330-300 in the new livery, supposedly by NG or Gemini Jets. But now, moving on to some aircraft on the taxiway behind the ramp, we first have this Lufthansa regional Embraer E190-100. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the old livery E190 is the last aircraft type in the entirety of the Lufthansa brand that still carries the Lufthansa regional titles, as all regional jets, including some A319s and A320s, are now entirely operated by Lufthansa CityLine. And now with Lufthansa City arising, a new member of the Lufthansa group, Lufthansa CityLine may or may not have an internal competitor. With that in mind, Lufthansa seem to have stopped operations under their original regional brand and have begun repainting the E190s into the new livery, excluding said titles and only featuring the Lufthansa and then the operated by Lufthansa CityLine titles instead. Honestly, it does eliminate visual variation in the carrier's liveries, but it also creates a form of unison which I think looks best in the modern new livery. Anyways, this Lufthansa E190 just touched down from the Czech Republic's capital, Prague. And as the final aircraft for today's update, this United Airlines Boeing 787-10 is taxiing over to the Z gates at Terminal 1 as it just arrived from my other model airport, Chicago O'Hare in Illinois. Although I mentioned it before, I am so happy I got this model, as it plays a huge role in long-haul operations out of Chicago, it flies to FRA, and it just looks really good in the Evo Blue livery. However, that is going to wrap up the 8th update of my 1:400 scale Frankfurt Main model Flughafen series. I apologize for not posting as consistently as I used to over the past couple of months, but now that I'm on summer break, I should be able to post at least once a week. If you enjoy my content and want to see more like it in the future, consider subscribing to my channel. It would help me so much on my way to 1,000 subscribers. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and until next time, fly safe.